I just had my company name, but I didn't, because I was afraid that after being so attacked in A Star is Born in 1976, and when I did these versions of Yentl, it was probably 1978, 79, I was so afraid of being attacked or people not personally liking me that I just didn't even put my name on it. So what happened after that? What was I telling you?
You know, how did you come to have all the roles?
Oh, all the roles.
Yep.
Milos Forman, when I was discussing it and sharing my vision of it, he said to me, why don't you direct it yourself? You have it all in your head. And I thought, oh my gosh, really? I was afraid. I was afraid to do that. So, it came slowly. Actually, I had a very strange, I don't know if I could go into it. I go into it in my book, kind of revelation about something. And I realized that Yentl, I didn't want it to be a musical at first. I wanted to make a simple little foreign film kind of thing. And then the studios asked if I would sing in it. It's like they were saying, if you don't sing in it, I don't know if we'll make it. Or they actually turned it down. So it was like, and I didn't know whether to do that until this experience, when I thought, oh my gosh, I have to make it a musical. And that was very interesting. That was a real fun time. What I first wrote was a 42-page outline of what I saw in my head. And then I put where I thought music should go. You know, so when she cuts her hair off and she goes into the forest and she has to spend the night there alone without her father. Marilyn Allen Bergman wrote, Papa, Can You Hear Me? That's how it happened, you know, like another scene. A friend of mine who was married came over one day and she was saying how she takes care of her husband and how she made him eggs rancheros for breakfast. And I thought, oh, no wonder these men want a wife. And so that became No Wonder, the song No Wonder. But that's how a lot of it came about. And we had a great time working together with Michel Legrand and the Bergmans, devising these moments that would need the songs to take you to another place. And of course, because I had a secret as the character of Yentl, I couldn't sing in front of people. So it became kind of obvious to us that, well, then they become inner monologues, in a sense, where she could express her feelings. And I love doing that No Wonder scene because I think casting is amazing. Casting, if you have the right people, you have a chance to have a good film. And so I hired Stephen Hill, who is an Orthodox Jew. So I could say, and I had Mandy Patinkin go to, besides giving him a lot of books, I had him go to a yeshiva to understand how this whole thing worked, the Talmudic discussions and so forth. And so they could talk, because what I was thinking is, why not have them have a conversation while I'm singing voiceover? So it was like a dance, you know, with the cameras. I mean, two different masters so that it could cover everything. And I didn't want to bore the actors during rehearsals. When I did Funny Girl, we had, 3 months of rehearsals for the musical numbers. I had 9 days to do this because you're on a shorter budget, you have to get it done. So I did most of the staging in America with an 8mm camera and using my wonderful assistant, Renata, or the Bergman's daughter to play the parts. I got a costume. I played Yentl, you know. And that's how I did this.
When you were writing or acting, you started sharing about how this story resonated with you because of your father.
Mm-hmm.
Were there scenes that were harder to write or portray or more emotional because of that connection?
No. No, because they're the most fun because you're using your own inside feelings, you know, your gut feelings, and we were lucky enough to have the wonderful actor Nehemiah Persoff, who I had seen for one moment in one of my favorite films, which was On the Waterfront. Mm. And in that car scene, you know, in the taxi, the last shot was the camera moved into the rear view mirror, and there was Nehemiah Persoff's face. And I'll never forget it, you know? And I thought, oh my God, yeah, he'll be fantastic to play my father. And he was the loveliest man, you know? Very kind, very supportive. And he became my dad. And what was wonderful working with him was that we were doing a scene outside before he dies, where he's saying, Yentl, what am I going to do with you? What's going to become of you? That kind of thing. And we were lit, I swear to God, by God, because there was no lighting. When I went to Prague and Hungary looking for locations, I saw, wait a minute, I just changed subjects. I don't want to go there. I want to go to what happened when I had to film with him. The light was coming through that tree. So it was just the last vestiges of the sun, lighting him right in the eyes. Somebody couldn't have asked for a more, you know, fortunate thing to happen at that perfect time of the day. But I wanted a certain reaction from him that I couldn't get. It was a resigned, he says, what's going to become of you, you know? And now I couldn't get it, but by being the director, my back was in the shot. I was on him, on his face, but my shoulder was in it. And I could improvise with him and say something to him, but that wasn't in the script, you know, that, Papa, I'm your daughter. And he gave me, that was it. It was like he went, what am I going to do with you? Yeah. And then, you know, the camera went up to the tree and it dissolved to black, the black tree, and came down, and it was his funeral. So it was just, you see, it was a wonderful experience working in London and Czechoslovakia. Because I, who didn't know how they would react to me, I mean, a first-time director, a woman, and the first day I told them the truth about my dream of this film, and also when I shook hands with everybody in the crew, and one guy's hand was kind of sweaty, and I said, you're nervous, right? And he said, yeah, and I said, well, you're not more nervous than me. And I need everyone's support or, you know, understanding or to be part of this dream. But I think they were so wonderful because they had a queen. And they had a woman like Margaret Thatcher as prime minister. In other words, they weren't intimidated by me because they had powerful women symbols. And so, you know. And so when I was making that movie and I would talk to, I had a wonderful camera operator, Peter McDonald, and I would say, you have to work in England very different than America. You know, in America, there's one cameraman, you do everything with him. In England, you have a lighting cameraman, the wonderful David Watkin, and a separate person that does the movement with the director, you know, with the staging. And I would say to Peter, okay, when I sing that song, what the hell's the name of the song? I'm on a bed. After the swimming hole.
The way he makes me feel.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I said, you know, the way I see it, she lies on the bed, the camera goes over her, so I could do it in one piece, without a cut. Because I'm from the theater, we're used to playing the whole show. We're used to playing the scene. So I always found myself doing things in one shot. You stage it around the actors. The actors don't accommodate the camera. Camera accommodates the actors. So I said, you know, if it's just too complicated to do this, I'll change it. And he said, absolutely not. We're here to serve your vision. Can you imagine that? It was so wonderful. Like when I first did the first song, Where Is It Written, with the tallis over my head, I said, I don't want to cut again. So it's in the back of my head. It's going to come around. And even David said, you have to cut when you turn like this, because I have to relight it. I said, no, no, no. Let's put the whole show on dimmers. So as if it's in the theater, you know, as I move, you have to dim the light. I don't want to be so hot in the foreground, but I don't want to cut. And that's what I did with all the actors. And I always filmed the other actors first in the scene, because I didn't want them to feel that I was serving myself. The actress came third. First it was the director, then the producer, and then the actress. She didn't get special attention. And it was fine, you know.
When I